Salute, salute, Knicks Nation. The streets are buzzing. Big time move. Leon Rose has pulled it off. The blockbuster deal with the Brooklyn Nets has dropped, fam. Woj bomb. Shams reporting that the New York Knicks and the Brooklyn Nets have agreed in principle, right, to receive Mikal Bridges from the Brooklyn Nets for 4 New York Knicks unprotected first-round picks, one of the protected picks in addition from the Milwaukee Bucks, and an unprotected pick swap in the future, as well as a second rounder, and Bojan Bogdanovic, of course, who will be a salary that can be manipulated from Brooklyn. Brooklyn also pulling off some major moves to get back into the draft with the Houston Rockets. Welcome in, fam. If you're just joining us, the streets are buzzing. Emergency live stream right now. Man, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that, not that the Knicks made a big move, because last night I said a storm was brewing, right? But I didn't think it would be the Mikal Bridges deal with the Brooklyn Nets. Obviously, the Knicks got a lot more aggressive too, fam, as well. Sandman and Gerard in the building, and Knicks Nation, how are we feeling about this deal right now? The Knicks paid a steep price, right, which I knew they had to do if they were going to get a Mikal Bridges, right? You don't get a Mikal Bridges from your crosstown rival without paying a steep price, right? Is it going to be worth it in the end? Ultimately, results are going to have to come now. This is Leon Rose's all-in move, basically. Also reporting Ian Begley is that this doesn't affect the Knicks' interest in retaining OG Anunoby, right? So with that said, the New York Knicks are still making it a big priority to get OG Anunoby re-signed. And obviously, this is a souped-up squad right now. As Alan Hahn says, Bridges' best ability is his availability as well. No doubt, I can't disagree with him as well. That is one of the best things you're getting with Mikal Bridges, right? Availability as well. Ian Begley said the Nets didn't want to trade Mikal Bridges to the Knicks, but Mikal Bridges forced his way to the New York Knicks, right? He put his money where his mouth is, and he finally, like we've been waiting for so many years in previous instances with stars of the past, that Mikal Bridges went to the Brooklyn Nets and said, get me to the New York Knicks, right? Josh Hart, we're going to go through his quotes as well. He's been ecstatic. He's tweeting all over the place as well. And the Villanova gang is complete now, right? With the Infinity Stones, too. Sandman says, I hope this doesn't mean OG is gone. Me too. Obviously, it would be addition and a subtraction. We're trying to make full addition. And so we'll wait to see what happens with OG. The Knicks can offer OG the 5th year. They can offer him over $200 million as well. So there's all the reasons for now James Dolan to go fully all in and pay the the maximum price to get OG back, pair him up with obviously Mikal Bridges now. Looks like Dante DiVincenzo, if I had a guess, will be becoming the 6th man, right? As Sandman also says, Brunson, Bridges, OG, Randall, and iHeart, right? It's insane, right? A starting 5 of that, right? Julius Randle staying right now. I'll be very surprised if anything happens there as well, right? Tariq's in the building, letting us know you approve of the Bridges trade, right? A lot of people very, very happy, right? I'm excited, right? Not gonna lie, I'm happy that the Knicks have made this upgrade. I'm excited. It's a steep price, but look, we saw Boston, and the Knicks are done playing games, right? This has been brewing. I said it yesterday that a storm was brewing, and here we are, fam, as well. Leon Rose wasn't playing games, right? We have all these draft picks for a reason, right? That's my initial thoughts. It's like, yes, the Knicks had to pay all those picks, which I'll repeat again, guys. It is 4 of the Knicks unprotected firsts, 1 pick extra, a 5th pick from the first round, which is Milwaukee's protected pick that the Knicks own, and an unprotected pick swap. So basically it's going to be 5 first round picks. 4 of them will be the Knicks. One of them's a pretty average pick from the Bucks, and then a swap, Bojan Bogdanovic, and a second rounder as well. But you get an all-star caliber player, Mikal Bridges, who's durable, right? He's going to play, right? He has not missed a game in his career as well. And he is a Villanova boy as well. As you know, Fred Katz did tweet out some speculation that a team that might think they'll lose OG might not trade away all those picks. But then that was addressed by Ian Begley as well. Here we go. Told that the Knicks trade for Mikal Bridges does not change their hope that they can re-sign free agent OG. That remains a priority for the New York Knicks ball club as well. Duras in the building. Salute. How are we feeling about this? Right? Excited that we get a wing. He's a defender. He can stretch the floor. He can create as well. He's a better offensive version of OG, in my opinion. But to keep both would be the best of both worlds, right? In my opinion, you got to keep OG. This is the time that James Dolan does need to pony up for the full amount, fam. And obviously, we have one more year. We can pay Julius, a certain extension if we can agree in a year's time. But hopefully, that's after we've won a championship next season as well. Gerard says Leon will be in the hot seat if this doesn't work out as well. Tariq says, I never felt Paul George, Cat Spider, or anyone else not named Giannis was coming, but Mikal fits, and I dig it as well. It's all about the fit, man. 100% agree. Hope you're doing well, and I hope everyone listening is doing well, man. This is why the Knicks have been, stacking all these picks for a minute. Did I think it was going to come to 5 first-round picks and then a swap in the future and then another second and then Bojan Bogdanovic? Man, I thought maybe 4 first rounds would get it done. But obviously there's that tax involved, fam. But you know what? It didn't work out with Danny Ainge. It didn't work out with Spider. Quentin Grimes was the hold-up. But that's not a hold-up anymore, man. The Knicks took their fate by the hands. And also, so did Mikal Bridges. Mad respect for what Mikal Bridges did, guys, first and foremost. As we're reacting live, CT on the streets are buzzing too. We'll bring you up to speed with everything that's going down right now, man, and it is going down too. Duras says it's a step, but a big step. Hans in the building says, oh my God. Yep, for real. But the Knicks mean business, and Mikal Bridges wanted to be a Knick, right? Seeing his boys here on the better side, making a deep playoff run, ready to compete and contend when Julius gets back healthy next season. Isaiah Hartenstein, right? He's going to return as well. What's going to happen with Mitchie, right? Do the Knicks end up trading Mitchie for some depth now, or do they keep Mitchie? Obviously, there was some, speculation over would a Danny Advida fit if we're dealing with the Wizards. Obviously, there's no need for that right now, right? There's no need for a Danny Advida. We are stocked at the wing spot right now. And just like Sandman said, in terms of the starting 5, what it looks like now, it's going to be Brunson, Bridges, Dante. Salute to what you've done. You're a great man for the cause. You're going to be 6th man for many years to come. Obviously, he's going to step right in if there's players miss any time. And a very good 6th man. Him and Deuce McBride, Josh Hart. What a bench that is, man. Right. Just before we get to the starting 5, what a bench that can be with Deuce, DiVincenzo, and Josh Hart. Obviously, we're going to make some draft selections tomorrow as well. I'm excited to talk about that as well. But talk about wing depth defense scoring. Bridges next to OG with Julius Randle and Isaiah Hartenstein as well. That is, to quote you, man, effing sick as well. And there's a reason we wanted to do this as well. Juan, what's up? But yeah, it is a lot of firsts, man. It is. But to your point, who else was on the block? You know, who else was the move? I didn't feel like the Paul George thing was going to happen. You know, money talks out in Ilala land, and right, Steve Ballmer's no fool, right? He paid $1 trillion for an arena, right? He doesn't want to open that arena with a gimpy Kawhi Leonard and nobody else as well. So that was always going to be tough. Philly's there as well. But how this all came together, man, Ian Begley's reporting Mikal. This deal came together quickly after Bridges informed the Nets that he wanted to be a Knick, right? That's what you love to see. That's what I wanted to see Donovan Mitchell do as well. No shade, but if Donovan Mitchell really wanted to take control of his future, he should have said it's New York or nowhere to Danny Ainge, straight to his face. But that never happened, man. And so here we are. Mikal Bridges said, get me to New York. And we made it happen, right? Obviously, we had to pay a little bit more of a tax, but we got it done right now. And if you're the Boston Celtics, who are you looking at? That's the biggest threat right now. It's got to be the New York Knicks with this starting five, my friends, right? What's up, Snaps? About time we do something with these picks as well. Fully agree. The draft was coming up. We have all these picks. We weren't going to make all the picks, you know, as well. So I haven't received the confirmation over which picks they are as well, but I'm inclined to believe they're not this year's picks. You know, they're future picks as well, and we're still going to make these picks tomorrow, fam. Lynn in the building. Give us your thoughts on this. The haul the Nets got for Bridges is unbelievable, and it better pan out for Rose's sake. But right, I'm on board for this move right now. Bridges, there's no denying how well he's going to help us, you know, and obviously he's going to be there in the postseason because he's durable, and that's the biggest thing. Now, who do you feel like can complement our bench, right? Do you think like Zach Edey could be a complementary big? If we do keep Mitch, maybe a Tyler Smith could be a perfect backup 4 spot. Jonathan Mobo as well. Tonight, I'm going to give you my thoughts on who I think the Knicks are zeroing in on, man. Man, they have been working out a lot of guys, and I feel like it's pretty clear which guys are going to fit. I think Ryan Dunn is obviously at the top of the list. Jalen Tyson, maybe a Khalil Ware as well. But in terms of that starting five, right, there's no weakness. Absolutely, right. For the first time maybe in my lifetime, I'm looking at a New York Knicks squad with, you know, barely, if not any single weakness, right? You know, the way Jalen Brunson committed to defense this season was great. You know, that's all you can ask for a point guard. He's not going to lock people down, but obviously he's that all-NBA player now. At the 2 spot, Mikal Bridges, offense and defense. OG at the wing spot, offense and defense as well. Plays above the rim, can play physical, can move up to the 4 as well if Randall's missing time. Then, of course, Julius Randle comes back, can stretch it, can dominate the post, rebounds well as well, and iHeart can play make in the short roll, rim protect, and obviously, you know, finish plays with the floater game as well. Pound for pound against against the Boston Celtics, right? That is a matchup that's going to be set, I think, for the Eastern Conference Finals, right? Assuming full health. I don't see anyone else getting close, right? And now the pressure's going to settle in for Philly, right? All these rumors that Philly side of it, you know, anonymous executives have been trying to leak to put the New York Knicks under pressure. Well, now the New York Knicks kind of flipped the script, right? And we got the guy we need. We paid a price, and now we're ready to rock, man. We are stocked and loaded to go for a deep playoff run. But music to my ears is to hear that, you know, Ian Begley's still reporting that that the New York Knicks, it doesn't change their intent, right? So the New York Knicks trade for Bridges does not change their hope that they can re-sign free agent OG Anunoby. That remains a priority for the club, right? And if you look at this starting five, you can play the two together. They fit, right? Mikal Bridges can play the two as well. And I mentioned OG, he's versatile, can play the four as well, some minutes. So I don't think that's going to hurt OG's thought process, so to speak, right? If anything, you might see OG looking at this move like, okay, another player that I might be down the pecking order. But I don't think that's going to be the case, because I think OG can play alongside Mikal Bridges. Suddenly the backcourt now of the New York Knicks has good size, right? Because next to Jalen Brunson, you've got 6'7" Mikal Bridges now as well, who's a larger two guard as well. And yeah, we just got to lock OG up. And, we had to move these picks at some point, right? Obviously, we weren't going to make all these picks. If you want to say that we could have saved the picks for a Giannis or, the next higher level superstar, but then you're a situation where you're waiting, and how long are you going to wait? Like I said, Paul George has the injury and the longevity concerns. He's good right now. But with Mikal Bridges, you get a guy that's, for the future, right? Make no mistake, we are looking at a Knicks potential dynasty if this is successful, because Mikal Bridges, fits the profile, the timeline, right? Dante's 26, Brunson 27, Josh Hart's 28, and Mikal Bridges, I think, is 26 as well. So we're looking at the nucleus of the Knicks starting five that can stick together for like the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years as well. And that is something significant. We haven't had this in a minute in New York City. It's always been every year, overhauling the roster, etc. Right. Demario says, salute, great trade. Leon is the man. Glad to hear your thoughts, man. I'm glad you're happy with the move. The price is the price, but we're looking at an excellent championship level starting five as well. And Lewis says, thank God the Knicks never got Spider. So, yeah, I think that boat sailed, and I think a lot of people, even Spider, had moved on, and he's looking at, getting the bag in Cleveland. I salute to that brother. He's doing the best for his future as well. Once the Knicks got Jalen Brunson, I think that move became very difficult to stomach as well. And I just love the fact that we've turned the tables. The pressure, I don't think so much is on the Knicks. People will try to, say that the front office gave up too much and all of that. But we were fiscal. We were very prudent with saving these picks. And obviously one of them is the Milwaukee Bucks one, which we never knew was going to convey or not. And then 4 of the Knicks first round picks. You could say, okay, we are clearly, trading, development with younger players in that situation. But this year we can maybe take a few picks and develop those guys as well. And we could also still buy second round picks in the future as well. And simply put, does a guy like Mikal Bridges come available every year? Is a player of his quality, his level, come available very often? No. The answer is you don't know when that's going to come. And when he wants to be a New York Knick, you seize the moment, right? In the words of Eminem, Slim Shady, you got to seize the moment. Do you capture it? Because if the Knicks had Leon Rose had froze in this moment, it'd be like, okay, another 2 years of Jalen Brunson's prime and Julius Randle's prime. These guys ain't got so many years to waste in terms of trying to win that championship here, right now as well. And we're putting the league on notice, right? You don't think Jimmy Butler, Miami, Pat Riley, you don't think Giannis is now looking at this situation like, man, the Knicks are really starting to make moves. Right, what's my organization doing as well? So, like to your point, Demario, it was smart to start saving these picks. obviously for when the day came. But to get a guy like a Mikal Bridges who's in his prime, right? He's not on the back nine like Paul George, Jimmy Butler, you know. He doesn't have the question marks over a Karl Anthony Towns or Embiid with his health as well. And so, yeah, with that situation, we'll wait and see. Let me pull up what Ian Begley's saying as well, fam, and we'll refresh the latest, right? So Begley saying free agent Isaiah Hartenstein is expected to be a top target for several opposing teams in free agency. With the offers that Hartenstein is expected to command in the open market, it's become increasingly unlikely that New York Knicks will be able to retain Isaiah Hartenstein per New York Knicks sources. Wow. Okay. Reacting to this live at the minute. He's chasing the bag, first and foremost. I think the Knicks could offer a very competitive offer and a very fair offer, right? If you can get better than a fair offer, all the power to you, right? You know, I ain't mad at Isaiah Hartenstein if he doesn't come back. I said it last night. Leon Rose in the front office has a plan B, plan C, plan D. That's what you do every day when you're in your office. You know, these executives, they don't just have coffee and go out to lunch, you know, spend the rest of the day, you know, watching Netflix. You know, they really make plans, and they talk to people around the league as well. So, look, Isaiah doesn't come back. Obviously, it's a priority to keep Mitchell Robinson. And then obviously, I think the New York Knicks are trying to trade up in this draft and maybe get Zach Edey, maybe get a Khalil Ware. Maybe they do go for a Goga Bitadze out in, you know, in Orlando, one of these other bigs as well. Maybe they draft Ryan Dunn, who can play some backup 5 as well. Maybe they give Precious Achua a little bit of a slice of that bread. Let me know your thoughts right now. Killer Dog says you're right. It's now or never. You know it, man. If you've been watching the NBA a minute, you just don't know when a player is going to be ready and available for a decent price, and they go to their club and they say, I want to be a New York Knick. You know, it's hard to deny, and you have to seize that moment. I get it, fam, as well. Yeah, you know, we don't have a front office that does panic. Like Lewis says, we make plans and we make backup plans as well, too. What are your thoughts on the Isaiah news that Ian Begley's reporting right now, too? What's up, Jerry and Jackson? And J Dub says Nova Knicks. Right, we are real. It's the real Nova Knicks now, except no substitute. And I'm happy for the guys because it must be a good feeling, you know, to rekindle that championship DNA together now with Hart, Devo, Brunson, and Mikal now as well. We are the full Villanova squad as well. And a salute JT. Looks like, yeah, the Knicks will keep these picks, J-Dub, for this year. Obviously, if we are trading 4 of our own future firsts, we do want to stock the cupboards full, right? I'm expecting now the New York Knicks to make 2 selections in the first round, especially with Isaiah potentially leaving, and also a pick in the second round, and then maybe whoever these undrafted free agents, fam, that can fill the 2-way spots as well, right? This is a lot of depth in this class, and there'll be some guys go undrafted as well. Jerry says Leon Rose is playing chess. The front office is building for a long-term sustainable winner. Great thoughts, man. I agree. I think obviously the age, the profile fits. It works really, really, really well with Mikal Bridges, 26 years old, right? Right. Picks are hypothetical because it's all potential. Picks are picks right there. Picks are only valuable if you're a younger team and you're willing to invest in developing those picks, which the Knicks can still do, like they did with Deuce McBride, like they did with Quentin Grimes and Quickly. But when you're so close to contending you've got to reset the expectations with draft picks. They're only going to get so many minutes. And if they're going to develop in Westchester, that's perfect. But in terms of sustainable success, that's great. Jackson says, this Knicks team doesn't move me. The chemistry is insane, but they need more to beat Boston. I think it's steps. Obviously, we bring this squad next season, man. We see how it looks head-to-head against Boston. I think the Knicks, more importantly, they value consistency. I think they want to come back and they want to challenge for the first seed, the second seed again. They don't want to drop off. If it doesn't get us all the way, then I think they'll readdress it in the off-season again next season. But right now, this is a big step for me. It's a big step up too. D. Linda says, I love it. And Low Key says, salute Mikal is a proven piece we needed. We know he can get it done. I think, defensively, I think is his biggest value. Offensively is great as well, though. Can stretch the floor out. If we are looking at a Ryan Dunn, well, Mikal Bridges is a polished all-star version of that, too. So, yeah, if Hartenstein leaves, Robinson's not going anywhere as well. Sims is awful, I agree. And yeah, let's look at more in terms of what's out there with Begley and the gospel out here with the Knicks beat reporters. So, look, Hartenstein, I don't think there was that much of a money difference to warrant Hartenstein leaving. Now, someone's going to go maybe foolish right now, which we're hearing. Maybe it is Oklahoma going with the 2-year 50 plus million. Maybe that is appealing. But the Knicks could offer Isaiah a starting role. They could offer him a starting salary of like 17 to be on a winning team. So I'm kind of still a little bit confused as to why Isaiah would. Obviously, I don't know what other deals are out there yet. Maybe it is a case of, a team just going with that crazy offer, which is an overpay, right? I love Isaiah, but I don't think just as a player for value that he's worth much more than 17 or 20. That's my opinion. He's kind of can do some solid things offensively, but he's not really a two-way force or anything like that. So I'm intrigued. Let's see what we do with the big man spot, guys, right now. But in terms of what's happening with the starting five, it's chemistry. Like the chat said, these guys know each other's games. That's one of the biggest things to come out of this situation. These guys know each other, and they know how to work together and win a championship as well, right? So we have Josh Hart out here on the on the FaceTime, man. Josh Hart is crazy. You guys can see this one on screen right now. We've got the three-way chat going with DiVincenzo, all smiles, man. Look, my respect for DiVincenzo has kind of gone up with this as well, because he knows he's kind of, out of all the current players, he's sacrificed, I think, the most right now. And he's done that ever since he signed with the Knicks with a mid-level deal. I think he wants to win, right? And he's a very capable starting player, but he's going to be six-man now. If the Knicks keep OG, of course, that look from Brunson says it all. And look, Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart is all smiles there, as well as the Villanova gang is reunited, fam. And I think Alan Hahn summed it up well, man. Bridges' best ability is his availability, right? Could you say that with Paul George? Could you say that with some of these other guys, to a lesser extent OG even as well? Right, so we'll see what other moves Leon Rose has got cooking right now. We will re-sign OG, and Ihart is gone. Get his replacement in the draft, either a Edie, Kalel Ware, or a Filipowski, too. I think those guys will be more of a backup, 100%. The Knicks will look to get a big in free agency, I feel like. Don't forget we have a full mid-level exception as well. Now that Bogdanovich isn't here as well, we lose that salary. Mikal Bridges basically fits right in to Bogdanovich's salary. He's only on 24, next season 25. He's extension eligible as well. So, yeah, Bridges is on a pretty good salary as well. So I think the Knicks will have the full mid-level exception to spend as well. And we can look at getting in, some help with the big man. Knicks ran out of steam, says, I don't think this trade happens if OG was guaranteed to return. I could see it both ways, to be honest with you, man. I could see it like, I could still see OG coming back, and that's the priority, reports Ian Begley. But obviously he's not going to sacrifice his spot because those two can play together. But if you are, speculating, I could see a world where OG leaves now. Definitely it's a little more likely, but I still think OG is back. Buzzer beater up in here, salute. Reacting live to this news, right? Got to grade the trade initially, right? For me, it's an A. It's an A minus. Obviously, we had to pay a little bit more than, let's say Mikal Bridges was on Washington, for example. I don't think we're needing to give up 5 firsts. But obviously we had to. It's Brooklyn, and look, I understand Brooklyn's not really trying to help the New York Knicks, but from the potential that this can play out and lead us to the NBA Finals, Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, look at these guys on screen, right? They are in their prime, right? They are on the front 9 of their careers, not the back 9, to use the golf term, right? Paul George is on the back 9 of his career right now. Jimmy Butler is on the back 9. Joel Embiid is on the back 9 of his career. Anthony Davis on the back 9. LeBron, Kevin Durant. These guys on the screen, they're on the front 9 of their career. They still have 6-7 years of their prime, maybe longer, that remain as well. And to seize the opportunity to compete, you've got to be aggressive, right? If you're the Knicks in this market, right? This isn't the trade, of formally, I think with, Melo and Marbury and this is a different type of move because, Mikal Bridges isn't the highest level superstar, but he's a two-way player, and he fits right now. You're going to be good for the next 10 years, says Hans as well. This has the potential to be the closest thing to a dynasty of our own, right? I don't think the Knicks just want to be one and done like Milwaukee, like Denver Nuggets, right? If we want to win a chip, we want to compete for a long time. And those 4 guys on winners, right, on screen, we are looking at 4 guys that have won together in college and they know what it takes, right? And they're going to bring that DNA championship with the ability to compete. Buzzer says Rose exec of the year. People are losing their minds online with this reaction. And the fact that the Nova boys are playing it up, tweeting out the FaceTime call and all that, I ain't mad at it because the embargo's over. It's free agency now, basically. And he requested a trade in the right way. He didn't drag this thing out like James Harden. He didn't drag this thing out like Ben Simmons, and those crybabies, right? Mikal Bridges went to his employer like a grown man, and he said, "Excuse me, Joe Tsai, or whoever it is, but I would really like to be a New York Knick. Do you think you could make it happen? I heard that the Knicks are going to call you soon." and they're going to offer a very nice package, right? I would really like it if you accepted that package, because I've got 2 more years on my deal, and if you don't, I'm out of here. And that's how you do it, man. And look, it worked out for Brooklyn as well. Not gonna lie, because not that I'm here to sing Brooklyn's praises or anything like that, but Brooklyn, credit to them, have chosen a direction, guys. Brooklyn now have made another big move, right? They're trading the 25 Suns pick swap, 27 first rounder from the Suns, and a first rounder swap in 29 to the Houston Rockets to get those picks back from the James Harden thing. And so, yeah, 2025 swap and the 26 first round. So look, Brooklyn's investing in the youth, and they're going to be trying to, obviously, now that they're rid of Mikal Bridges, they're trying to make moves for the future right now. Let me know if what you grade the trade right now. Initially, I'm going to say it's an A, because he's just an awesome fit, right? There's going to be no question marks now. I think, does this core fit together, right? If they don't somehow get it done, it'll be because of either, they just came across better opponents or coaching. It's not going to be a question of fit at the moment, I think, but I'm a little bit concerned about the Isaiah situation. That kind of hit like a bomb, just like the trade did as well. As I see if Ian Begley's added anything new. So he says, even though Brooklyn knew Mikal Bridges wanted to be a Knick, the Nets certainly didn't have to trade him right now. He had 2 years left on his deal. So New York had to make an offer that Brooklyn just couldn't refuse. They clearly did that. It's fair to assume that the New York Knicks offer was by far the best that Brooklyn has received for Mikal Bridges, right? Yep. Look, we've been and done this song and dance before with Spider Mitchell, right? The back and forth, and then we got outbid by Cleveland, right? The longer that this got prolonged, I think other teams start to get involved. So the New York Knicks had to come quick. They had to come ready for a package that Brooklyn could not refuse, like Ian Begley says as well. And look, those 4 first-round picks from the New York Knicks, obviously the optimist in me is saying that the New York Knicks are going to be a top seed, and those picks aren't going to be that valuable, right, in this 4-year period, right? Well, they won't be back-to-back picks, but obviously within this next 6 to 8 years. And then obviously the Bucks pick was heavily protected, and obviously Bojan and the second rounder and the pick swap, is not anything to really lose sleep over. But yeah, I mean, I am a Villanova fan in terms of the college program, but these guys I respect, man, in a huge way. Now, give us some names about Isaiah, right? As we talk about people reacting to the news that Isaiah is expected to be a top target now. And then the Knicks, look, if they can save money with the big man spot, it frees up that extra bread that we can now pay OG Anunoby, right? So I ain't mad at that, right? Mitch is already a starting quality center, right? And so if we let Isaiah walk, we avoid paying him, obviously, the 20 mil. And then obviously we can make sure now that OG Anunoby is not going anywhere, because if you want to beat Boston, it's obviously Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, right? You can clamp them down with OG and Mikal Bridges, right? It's going to be an absolute war out there as well. And obviously, yeah, Mitch is still here. Isaiah walks. We have a little bit more money. And we can find a big in the draft, or we can continue to explore our free agency right now. But we're buzzing live, and I'm reacting to this and shouting people out, and we're bringing up the latest news. So as Ian Begley's just put this video out, right, 1 minute ago. I'm going to bring this up on the screen right now and we'll listen to it, fam, right, as he's going to talk about OG Anunoby and the plan with this situation. I've got it up on screen now. I'm just going to get the audio hooked up. We're going to get the audio in this thing. Let's get it.
Down to the Knicks. How did this Knicks-Nets Mikal Bridges deal come together? Well, Bridges recently informed the Nets that he wanted to be a Knick, but Bridges has 2 years left on his contract, so the Nets didn't have to move Bridges anywhere, let alone across town to the Knicks. But Bridges was prepared to force his way to New York if the Nets wanted to trade him elsewhere. He was going to tell, his side was going to tell the teams that eventually he would be signing with the Knicks, so that would dissuade those teams from trading for Bridges. But in order for the Nets to do a deal now, the Knicks had to make Brooklyn an offer it couldn't refuse, and they did just that, sending 6 first-rounders, 1 second-rounder, and Bojan Bogdanovic over to Brooklyn for Mikal Bridges. I think the draft compensation is still being sorted out at this point, but Mikal Bridges will be a Knick, rejoining Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo. This deal, I'm told, does not preclude the Knicks from re-signing OG Anunoby. That is still a priority of theirs at this point, to bring back Anunoby. He will get a big-time deal from the Knicks or another team, but the Knicks at this point remain feeling like they're in good position on Anunoby. But as Isaiah Hartenstein, Knicks can only offer Hartenstein a contract 4 years, $72 million, starting around $16 million. But Hartenstein is expected to get several suitors on the open market with big-time offers, and those offers, I'm told, are probably will make it difficult for the Knicks to retain Hartenstein. So if things continue to go apace, you can expect Hartenstein to sign elsewhere. Knicks will have to pivot then at the center position. So plenty of moving parts here, but we know Mikal Bridges will be a Knick, joining his Villanova mates, and this was a deal that the Knicks had always wanted to make, that he was always kind of near the top of their board, and the fact that they were able to pull it off, I'm sure they're very happy right now. But the Nets also have to be very happy with their haul. Just a bevy of picks, also getting their own picks back in a separate transaction. They are ready to hit the restart button and start from scratch with Jordi Fernandez at the helm.
There we have it. We heard from Ian Begley, the latest, right? He didn't say Isaiah's going to leave, right? I guess it's still, the way I interpret it is that there's still a chance Isaiah takes a deal from the Knicks. But obviously it's now looking less likely that Isaiah Hartenstein continues in New York, right? I'll still be surprised. I didn't expect him to value, obviously it's more money in a short-term period, but maybe the New York Knicks, again, have other plans. But I thought 17 milli would be enough, to get Isaiah back in the orange and blue. But obviously we already have Mitch on a very, very good contract as well, and we can solidify more center depth, right? Maybe we're not looking to overpay centers so much, you know what I mean? And look, you only play for so long. Hartenstein is a CAA man, so I guess this can dispel that myth that, CAA only want to get their clients paid with the Knicks, right? They want to get them paid, period, right? If Isaiah gets an awesome deal, an overpay with the Oklahoma Thunder or somewhere else, CAA benefit, right, from that as well. So Leon Rose is running the New York Knicks now. He's not running CAA. CAA are their own separate entity that are still trying to fill their pockets right now. And the Knicks are obviously ready to fill OG Anunoby's pockets right now, which is great to hear because, look, if we get Mikal Bridges but we lose OG, it's bittersweet for me because you pair the two up and obviously we're a lot stronger now. Obviously, two great defensive wings that are athletic, that are, able to lock down, can shoot the three, and play in transition as well. And look, Jalen Brunson, I'm happy for that man because he's going to be one of the happiest men, right? More outlets, more guys to, to take the scoring load off of him as well. And obviously we're bringing back two-time All-Star Julius Randle as well now. Mikal Bridges is so versatile. He can play 2s, 3s, 4s. OG can play the 3, 4, and 5 as well. So the Knicks definitely got so much more versatile, not just specifically in terms of, talent wise, and that's what I'm most excited about, guys. Let me know your thoughts on that. But here is the breakdown from Bobby Marks in terms of the pick breakdown, and I'm going to bring this up on the screen right now. This is the years that the picks are broken down to. So so the Knicks keep their picks for this draft. As of tomorrow, the Knicks still have 24 and 25 and 38, right? But we are looking to package and move up, possibly. However, these picks going to Brooklyn now will be 25, New York Knicks unprotected. The Milwaukee one as well, which is heavily protected. I'm not so worried about that one. The 27 New York Knicks is unprotected as well. The New York Knicks, in theory, would be a very good team still, and that's going to be a later first round pick. The 2028 New York Knicks pick right to swap. So whichever is the worst of the two picks out of the Knicks and Brooklyn, it'll get swapped, and the Knicks will keep the worst one as well, which is most likely ours anyway, because Brooklyn's pick should be better. They'll be a worse team. But 2029, the New York Knicks is unprotected as well, and 30-31. That's where we're starting to get, more into the future, right? That is, 7 years from now, right? So Jalen Brunson will be an older man. Obviously, 29 and 31 are the ones that might hurt the Knicks a little bit in the future. And then from Houston, this is the one that the Brooklyn Nets are getting in terms of their swaps back, right? So those are the years, ladies and gentlemen, of the picks. The next 2-3 years, the capital is clear for the Knicks and for Brooklyn. I think the Knicks will be a top seed, but 2029 and 2031, right, is going to be very, very interesting, right? But that is why you make this deal still, because these guys are in their prime for years to come, right? 10 years is a stretch, right? Obviously, Steph Curry's playing at a very high level still at 33, 34. We hope that these guys, have really longevity. But obviously, in the future, right, we might have new all-stars at that point. But you got to make this move because it's right now. These guys are in their prime, and it's a case of getting it done, right? I'm happy with the deal. Mikal Bridges, a New York Knick now, fam. We can get it popping on draft night tomorrow and now stock up the cupboard in terms of filling these spots at the big man, with word that Isaiah Hartenstein might be leaving, right? I mean, I must admit, man, that's tough. That's bittersweet right now. As I'm refreshing to see what else is clear. Jonathan Wasserman is saying, interesting to see how the Knicks trade and Hartenstein's free agency affects their draft tomorrow. If going big is a priority, would likely need to move up for Edie or Missy, cross fingers for Khalil Ware or Deron Holmes, or consider Adem Bona, Jonathan Mobo, right? Interesting too, but different kind of bigs as well. So yeah, Jonathan Wasserman echoing the same thoughts as what we've been saying in terms of the direction. As I pull that one up now, you can see what Wasserman's talking about. See what else is out here as well. And we've got the chat popping. What's up, Ricky? Says, see what happens when you have a real GM and staff. These guys are getting busy, right? Mikal Bridges wanted to be a New York Knick. I respect that. You know, he made things easier, which I really like. You know, the other guys, you know, flirted with the Knicks for so many years. Carmelo Anthony, you know, kind of made things easier, and that deal got done. But we'll see, right? Look, this move will have some detractors as well, right? I think he's a Celtics man, but Tom Haberstroff is saying Caruso for 0 firsts, Mikal Bridges for 5 firsts as well. I don't think you can really compare that situation. But like I said, that's just what it's going to be, right? Chris Mannix reporting New York Knicks intends to be aggressive in re-signing OG. A source tells SI Now. Bridges is not viewed as an OG replacement, but another weapon in what could be a stingy New York Knicks defense. That's where it's at. That's where it's at, right? Chris Mannix, he's unbiased. He'll tell it like it is, right? New York Knicks intends to be aggressive, re-signing OG. That's what it means, man. Give the man the bag. And it means, okay, Isaiah Hartenstein, we really love to keep you, but we can draft some bigs. We've got Mitchell Robinson still. We've got Precious Achua. And we've got the veterans minimum. We can always get some help as well. But we need to keep OG Anunoby, and we need to pay him because we traded RJ Barrett. You know, we traded Emmanuel Quickly as well. What's up, Martin, in the building? Yep, you heard it. Mikal Bridges is a New York Knick, and we're reacting to it live, fam, with the best chat in the biz. The New York Knicks streets are buzzing. NBA Central says Brett Siegel, NBA, Leon Rose is cooking. The Knicks still own the 24th and the 25th picks in this year's draft. 2. Ryan Dunn, potentially Khalil Ware, Jalen Tyson, Zach Edey as well. Let's see what happens, fam. 2. Sixer fans, how are they feeling right now, right? They might be left without Paul George. Looks like they might not be able to get OG if the Knicks are setting themselves up to pay OG the most that they can pay and offer the 5th year. And now they've got Mikal Bridges as well, too. Mikal Bridges himself has tweeted out, "This is crazy, LOL." Monica McNutt is hysterically laughing at that. Yeah. And another Woj bomb. Let me pull this one up, relating to the direction of getting OG Anunoby re-signed. That's perfect to hear that. The Knicks still determined to keep OG in free agency, sources tell, but the ability to re-sign Isaiah becomes more difficult. The Knicks are loading up on wings to match up with the NBA champions. Right. You said it. You said it. Unbelievable. In terms of, Wojnarowski, like Hartenstein, it looks like he's chasing the bag, and the New York Knicks are just saving more of that to give to OG. Right. Martin says OG and Mikal would match up well versus the Celtics. El Tango says, had to be done. I think Mikal and JB made this trade happen. I'm telling you, New York is going crazy right now. Look, we needed toughness. We needed some defense still, and we needed durability. I think Leon Rose does evaluate like any GM does, in terms of how the season ended. Right? It's not always how it starts to how it ends. And how it ended for the New York Knicks was bittersweet because you saw the talent on the paper. You saw it on the screen when healthy. But ultimately it wasn't healthy. So what did they get? They went out and got the most durable player in NBA history. Man, this guy doesn't miss games. Right? And also, he's a perfect two-way complementary wing as well. And we needed more wing toughness, right? To me, the most underrated thing about this move, which I said near the start of the show, is that Dante DiVincenzo is now going to be the sixth man, right? This man broke the franchise shooting record last season and was the second best three-point catch and shoot behind Steph Curry. And we're talking about him being a sixth man next season as well. That's excellent for our chances now, and it's working towards making sure that depth for the Knicks is legit. Like Darren says, yeah, Wasserman has also confirmed that as well. As I'm refreshing right now, Tibbs got to be happy as well. The culture that's being built from this Villanova guys is big. Jay Wright. People are talking about maybe Jay Wright joining the organization at some point. Is it only right that Jay Wright joins the squad at some point, fam? We see Scream and A. Smith. I'll save everyone the hassle. I'm not going to bring that up. But Scream and A. Smith is going crazy in a video as well. He's probably talking about Quentin Grimes still being on the New York Knicks, yeah, as well. That's absolutely insane. Keith Smith, who does like to talk about the cap situation a lot, says, as of right now, I've got the New York Knicks at $45.2 million under the first apron for 8 players and the 2 first-round picks. New York will have to get to at least 14 players under contract eventually. That's tight to fit in OG Anunoby at his market value and to fill out the rest of the roster. But obviously it does include the 2 first-round picks. So I think that's what the Knicks will be looking at in terms of trying to make all the cap situations work too. Look, there's still a world where the Knicks can trade Mitchell Robinson and draft a couple of bigs, go a little cheaper, but they'll make it work, right? We might be over the first apron. That just might be where things end up for us right now, and I'm not mad at it. I think the New York Knicks got to get their guys, right? As you see, Keith Smith, right? So 8 players and the 2 first-round picks, right? We re-sign OG Anunoby, let's say, for a 35 to 40 mil. And then that's going to mean that, we have not too much left to fill out the rest of the roster, veterans minimum guys, But you've still got Jericho Sims under a really cheap contract. Maybe Precious Achua comes back for cheap as well. Deuce McBride and Mitch on excellent contracts. And like I said, Hart and DiVincenzo are going to be, big-time players off the bench. So you're really looking at filling, smaller spots on the roster right now. The starting 5 is set, assuming, OG gets his bag. I would suggest a little bit of that money will go towards another center and then a couple of the draft picks, of course, as well. We need to draft a big right now. I was talking about it last night, and I was talking about it to James Barlow as well of our interview. Check that out if you haven't already, and smash that like button. The New York Knicks will now be, trying to get a big in this draft with one of the picks as well. Important thing to note as well, that the trade is not finalized yet. So the Knicks can still add other salaries to Bojan Bogdanovic's deal to help stay below the first apron for this year as well. And with 2 first-round picks we have, the Knicks will need to fill 4 roster spots, like we said. Basically, OG will likely be taking one of them as well. So I don't expect the Knicks to be trading this year's picks. We need cheaper talent. Obviously, we've got Bridges contracts too. Next season is 23 mil. The season after that is 25 mil as well. He's eligible to sign a 2-year extension on October 1st. He can extend for an additional 3 more seasons, which I think will probably happen very soon at some point, right? As everyone's reacting, and the news is insane right now, and I expected the Knicks to do something big, and we went out and got Mikal Bridges. He is the guy that we got, and now we have 2 draft picks to look forward to tomorrow, and OG Anunoby. I think all eyes and all priority is moving towards Mitch. Martin, indicating that the Knicks will keep OG but lose Isaiah. So yeah, we're going to have to shuffle a little bit of priority, but keep OG, let Isaiah walk and get his money. So that's where things are at right now. And like I said, we can offer OG the 5th year, and we can obviously pay him the most as well. So now we don't have to worry about the leftover money so much. You just make sure that OG stays, right? Now that you've got insurance in Mikal Bridges. So that's a feather in Leon Rose's cap, because the talk, guys, was going to be, if OG gets a huge bag, but there's no capable backup, you're going to be a situation where he's going to get criticized, if OG's not healthy. What did he go and do? He's going to go pay OG the bag, and he's going to get a capable backup, capable insurance policy in Mikal Bridges as well. So it's a win-win right now, and 2 of the best 2-way defensive wings on the planet. Paul George, I would love to see him as a New York Knick, but that wasn't likely because his age, and what that would take to get him out of LA right now. That'd be 45 plus milli for a long-term deal, and he's on the back 9, like I said. If Philly throw the bag at OG, we can still trump any offer, fam. The most any other team can offer OG is 4 years. The Knicks can add a 5th year to the deal, and we can exceed, 40. We can exceed 40, 45 mil as well, fam, as well. So yeah, I'm not worried about OG so much anymore now. I'm obviously a little upset that we might lose Isaiah Hartenstein, but it happens too. We got former Knick Amari Stoudemire tweet out for the culture as well, with his New York Knick photo. Well, so Stat talking about the deal as well too. Some accounts thanking Bogey as well. We're going to give some thoughts towards Bogdanovic. Look, this deal ain't possible if we don't have Bogdanovic's salary. And how did we get Bogey's salary? We had to trade Quentin Grimes. So it's a long tree of transactions, my friends, that people criticized, why did we give up Quentin Grimes for a short-sighted move? Well, it wasn't so much a short-sighted move, because Bojan Bogdanovic's salary was always looked at from the New York Knicks as a salary that could help facilitate a superstar deal or a star deal. So at the end of the day, we traded RJ and quickly, to get OG, but we also moved Quentin Grimes to Detroit to help us get a guy who could help us in the playoffs, who did help us. Unfortunately, the injuries, happened, but now Bogey's now helped facilitate, just Bogey and draft picks. Didn't need to give up Deuce, didn't need to give up Jericho, as of things stand. All it was Bogey and picks now, and obviously the Quentin Grimes legacy will live on, but it looks like Quentin Grimes is going to be on the move again. Looks like Detroit is looking to move Quentin Grimes to Dallas to get Tim Hardaway Jr. fam reunited with his father, Tim Hardaway Sr. with that one. So, I mean, that's where it's at. You know, it makes, now that you look back, guys, things just make so much more sense too. It makes a lot of sense from the Grimes perspective, Bogey, trading RJ and all of that. I mean, look at, I love those guys, but look at the upgrades. You line them up. RJ next to Quickly, next to Quentin Grimes, and you replace them with OG Anunoby, maybe Precious Achua, still here, and Mikal Bridges as well. And obviously you part with your draft capital that you've got saved up, right, for that rainy day. And we used it now. And what an upgrade, you know, at the wing spots now. Deuce is obviously a, you know, much better player now. DiVincenzo assumes the Quickly offense role off the bench, and away we go, fam. Buzzer says, last season, people were excited about acquiring Bojan and Burks, and I thought it was an A-plus move. I was vehemently against it. This is the greatest trade in Knicks history since the Knicks got Pearl Monroe. Big time statement, man. Let's see how it plays out, but on paper, it's the right move. Mikal Bridges was the dream fit. If we're talking about a dream fit, I mean, there's probably only two more guys in reality that would be better. You know, that'd be a Giannis Antetokounmpo, and maybe a prime Devin Booker. But Cat, I didn't want. Paul George, like I said, doesn't fit the timeline. You know what I mean? Jimmy Butler, too old. Spider doesn't fit. Again, Mikal Bridges, you know, the right fit. You know, the shoe fits on that one. Let's see what else is happening online, and we'll get ready to wrap this thing up, right? All the reactions, all the people online. Steve Popper trying to give the Nets some credit for choosing a direction as well. I talked about the Nets. They had to make a decision, right? Something that the Chicago Bulls haven't been able to do. Mike Vorkanov, former Knick beat writer, says Bridges is a seamless fit with the Knicks, and the team-building vision is easy to see. But this is the largest package a team has ever dealt for a player who has never made an all-star team. But is this the largest package that a player has made? Look, ultimately, your goal isn't to get players that are all-stars. Your goal is to get players that help you win a championship, right? If your championship team only has one all-star player on it, then who cares? You know, you're trying to win a championship. The Knicks aren't in this to trying to make sure that all 5 players are all-stars, you know? Their goal is to win the chip. So yeah, Fred Katz, a little tidbit. Bogey for Bridges would mean the Knicks taking on money in this trade, which would hard cap them at the first apron. If they found a way to guarantee Diakite and Jeffries and include them in the deal to Brooklyn, they would not be hard capped. So that, look out for that, my friends. Maybe Mamadi Diakite and Daquan Jeffries might be for the cause. Maybe they get their money guaranteed, and then they get sent to Brooklyn. I think, don't rule that out. I think that makes a lot of sense, fam. So yeah, that is where that's at. Obviously, the Knicks are unlikely now, increasingly unlikely, to retain Isaiah Hartenstein because of the money, you know, and obviously priorities are OG, right? And yeah, Mikal Bridges, he's not a guy that I've always looked at and said, man, I want him to be that New York Knicks guy. But as time went by, it became increasingly, you know, realistic that he was the guy to get. He was the guy to make us compete with Boston, right? OG was a big step, but Mikal Bridges, you know, just takes that to that next level. And as we heard from Ian Begley, the priority is to still get OG signed, right? And we're going to speak with the wallet now. James Dolan bringing out the Brinks truck. AT says Brian Dunn, a prototype to develop. He can play multiple positions as well, which is great. I don't know if Brian Dunn is going to be there on the board. I don't think he's the only best fit as well. I think Jalen Tyson would be nice. I think another playmaker off the bench would be nice as well, next to Deuce and Devo. But one of the most appealing things about Ryan Dunn is he can play some backup 5. You know, he really protects the rim, and he really is versatile, so athletic as well, fam, as well. And yeah, as Louise says, Ryan Dunn can't shoot. 4 on 5 is bad math on one side of the ball, right? I think he'll be a very much kind of a situational specialist kind of guy, but the hope is that he buys into the development, you know, and he can develop a mid-range jump shot, you know, or something like that. But we wouldn't need Ryan Dunn much, to be honest, because with OG and Mikal Bridges now, you know, the minutes will be sparing, I think. Now, here's the guys to look out for, fam. Here are some guys to look out for. I'm going to bring up my big board right now. And let's go through it, fam. The Knicks worked out Jonathan Mobo, right? Look at I've got him ranked 36 on my big board, right? The sales pitch for Jonathan Mobo, right? He's a energizer, you know, combo forward, man, with really good ball handling skills, right? Not great shooting. There is, you know, there is some signs that he can be serviceable with some work. The shot's not broken like Ryan Dunn at this point, but Jonathan Mobo can be a backup 4, and he can be like a Kenneth Fareed type, you know, a poor man's Draymond Green kind of guy as well. He's someone to look out for, and the Knicks have worked him out. Right now, he's ranked 39th prospect. The Knicks worked him out. Also, the Knicks are very high on Tyler Smith, who's the 29th ranked prospect as well. He's 6'10", and he's a shooting forward, a shooting power forward who can be versatile on the offensive side as well. He's intriguing to me. Khalil Ware, Ryan Dunn is there as well. I like those two. Baylor Scheinman as well is one of the best shooters in the draft. 6'7". Think Joe Ingles light. Joe Ingles in his prime as well. Little shorter, 6'7", little less playmaking, but very much the same kind of mold as well. And then AJ Mitchell, who's a 6'5" guard, can do some things ball handling and be a reserve guard for the New York Knicks as well. But now that there's a bit of a need for the bigs, I can feel, you know, that the Knicks will be trying to get Khalil Ware, Ryan Dunn, and Jonathan Mobo. With that said, man, apologies losing my voice with this situation. So let's wrap this thing up and let's get it. Tomorrow night, we will be live for the NBA draft, first round, off the back of this huge deal. Let's see what the New York Knicks pull off on draft night. Now we just got to add some depth pieces, man, and keep this thing buzzing. Shout out to the chat, and I appreciate you guys. Let's get it tomorrow as we digest this big blockbuster move. And it looks like Isaiah Hartenstein might be on the move, right? But it's orange and blue skies with this now, Mikal Bridges, a New York Knick. We've got Rokas Jokibitis balling out. And we've made our all-in move. Now we just got to keep OG Anunoby and stock up the big men. Right now, let's get it, fam. Peace.